Good morning, everyone. I'm here with Nick Buckley. How are you, Nick?
I'm good, thank you.
Nick, excellent. So just so my viewers know, I don't politically endorse Nick. I think he's very interesting, and I want him to defeat Andy Burnham. That's the endorsement, is that, you know, my enemy's enemy is my friend. So, Nick, please introduce yourself, and why are we having this chat here? What's going on?
So, as you said, my name is Nick Buckley. I'm the independent candidate running for mayor next year. So the election's 2nd of May next year, and I'm hoping to beat Andy Burnham to become the mayor of Greater Manchester and hopefully improve things.
Yeah, and from what I understand from our conversations, you worked for Manchester City Council, where we are right now. We're at Manchester Town Hall.
Yep.
What did you do for the MCC?
So this was nearly 2 decades ago. I was a community safety coordinator. So I was in charge of reducing crime and antisocial behaviour. My last job was being in charge of the city centre, Manchester City Centre, looking at places you know well, such as Piccadilly Gardens.
Cracky Gardens.
Piccadilly Undercroft, looking at all these areas and trying to make them safer for the public.
What's Piccadilly Undercroft?
You call it Cottagers Cove.
Oh, Cottagers Cove.
Technical name is Piccadilly Undercroft.
I see. So let's use a technical name. So Piccadilly Undercroft, has it always been a place where men openly meet for sexual relations?
Yes, it has been as long as I've been aware of it, which must be 2-3 decades.
And why isn't there CCTV down there or a permanent police presence? Because families walk through there, and canals with little kids on the canal sail past.
Yeah, so 2 decades ago, I tried to fix the problem down there because we were getting complaints, especially from families who were hired canal boats going through the canal there and then reporting to us next day that their 7-year-old daughter is watching 15 men having open sex as the barge goes past. So we were forced to do something, so we installed CCTV with a microphone, so people at CCTV control could see what was going on and then warn people, this is lewd behaviour, we will phone the police, you will be arrested. But the men didn't care, so they then would put on shows for the CCTV camera operatives.
They will, of course, because their thrill is to do it in public with the threat of being caught. And so if there's potentially someone watching, it might encourage them even more.
Yeah.
I find my tactic to go down there and not shame them, it's just a camera, but to just expose what they're actually doing illegally. I've had people chase me around Manchester, calling the police on me for homophobia, which I just want to get a few comments from you. When you were trying to stop people engaging in illegal sexual acts in public, did anyone say that because these men are gay, you're a homophobe?
No, we had to do a year consultation with the gay community in Manchester before we could send the police down there, which we ended up not doing anyway, different story.
Okay.
But we engaged the LGBT community in Manchester, and from my recollection, about 98% of the people we spoke to who were gay said to me, it's disgusting what goes on down there, you need to stop it. Because decent people, decent gay people want to obey the law and want to live in a civilised, decent society. It's only a minority of people who are perverts. In the straight community, in the gay community, in the white community, in every community, a very small percentage are perverts. And that's what we need to clamp down on. We need to clamp down on that, and we need to enforce the law. It can't be one law for me and one law for you because you're a special person.
A special, endangered species, a protected class. And we get this a lot. I'll give you an example. The video went viral on all the different social medias. There was a Arab gentleman, and I've lived around the world. I can tell when someone is born internationally. He, in front of the police, said, I will rob you. If I see you outside the city centre, I'm going to rob you. And then I said, how dare you? I said, how would you like it if someone came to your country and said that to the natives? I got grabbed by the police and said, oh, that's potentially... The policeman said, this makes me feel uncomfortable. And it's like, wow, I get threatened to be robbed, but because I then say, how would you feel if I went to your country and said that? I'm the bigot, I'm the racist. What is going on in Manchester, Nick, and how do we fix this?
See, this is a countrywide problem, but let's just look at Greater Manchester at the moment. Part of the problem is the police. The police have been over-politicised. Police have been influenced by organisations like Stonewall. The police now have a two-tier policing system across the country and in Greater Manchester. We have the law for me and you, and then we have special laws for special people. And that's not a fair system. It has to be one law for all.
So some people are citizen plus, or enhanced citizens above you and I.
Not only that, but they have extra leeway that they can do things and not get arrested. That if we did it, we'd be arrested. Like that gentleman you talked about then. He was threatening to rob you at a future time. Police didn't stop him saying that or do anything or speak to him.
No.
But the second you said, would you like that in your country? That was, hate crime.
Yeah.
Hate crime now is more important than actually robbing you and assaulting you.
Yeah.
That's how low our police are falling.
Yeah.
And as mayor, who's also the police crime commissioner, so people don't know this, the mayor of Greater Manchester,
Andy Burnham,
is also responsible and in charge of the police. He can sack chief constables.
Yeah.
If I'm mayor, I'm going to fix the police. That's my priority.
Yeah.
And when I say fix the police, what do I mean? In simple terms, I mean I'm going to turn the police back into a police force.
Yeah.
Not this pink and fluffy service we have now.
Not the Cheka or the Stasi or the Gestapo,
No,
actual police
just
force.
Independent officers who just enforce the law. They don't care your colour, your religion, your sexuality.
Yeah.
They don't even care what you've done to a certain extent. All they care about, did that break the law or didn't it?
Yeah.
If it did,
Yeah.
I have to take action and invest you.
Yeah.
If it didn't, it's none of my business.
I know. And isn't it crazy, Nick, when we grew up, human emotions, love, hate, envy, greed, were nothing to do with the police. It was a matter between you and your belief in a creator. But now we've criminalized hate. So is it the feeling of the emotion? Like if I feel hateful, am I a criminal, or is it when I open my mouth without thinking with my little inner censor that I'm a criminal?
You're a criminal when you act.
When you act.
When you act illegally.
In a hateful manner.
Hate shouldn't come into it.
No.
So if I don't like you because you take videos on a city centre and I punch your face in, I don't hate you. I just don't like what you were doing.
Yeah.
Now, if I beat you up and I hate you as well, what's the difference? Did it feel worse because I hated you and I beat you
The punches felt identical.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So in a free world, in a free country, with free people, I can hate who I want to hate. I can dislike who I want to dislike.
Yeah, because you're an adult, you're grown up.
As long as that doesn't lead me to enact actions that are illegal, I should be able to do and feel what I want to feel.
Yeah, no, absolutely. What blows me away is in America, they have constitutionally protected free speech. And everything is legal as long as it's not a direct threat of violence or an incitement for others to murder someone or hurt someone. And I love that. How, Nick, can we get about a situation where we, the daddies of the Americans, as the British, get good English free speech that would make even an American proud to come and visit here and enjoy some free speech? How do we go about that?
We get it the day that the vast majority of people in this country say, I'm not having this anymore.
Yeah, enough is enough.
I want my free speech, and I'm willing to upset the police. I'm willing to upset other people by saying what I want to say, and I'll take the consequences.
Yeah.
Because to be a free people, you're only free because people before you, let's call them patriots, paid for you to have freedom, and they're normally paid with their blood.
Yeah.
So, as somebody who's scared of saying something, then you're being a coward.
Yeah.
And that's one of the biggest things wrong with our country at the moment, is we have too many cowards. People are only worried about themselves.
I know.
Take some personal responsibility and start paying some of this forward. Start paying it for your children, for your uncles, for your cousins. Start improving where you live and protecting your rights, because that will improve other people's lives. Well, stop being cowards.
I know. All we need to do is tell the truth and not be scared to say it. And people might accuse us of being like, for example, in that video where the gentleman threatened to rob me outside the city, I was exposing and being angry at a bunch of 13-year-old girls hanging out with a bunch of 30-year-old drug dealers. Yeah. And I was accused of bigotry and a lack of sensitivity, and how dare I? These are and it's even interviewing you now, I feel this inner Soviet commissar, like watching every word I say, because Russell Brand, he's had this whole video demonetized for completely different things. But I worry that my free speech, like for example, I filmed a bunch of working class guys in their construction gear say some very aggressive things towards Lucy Letby, the child serial killer. And YouTube monetized it for 6 months, but as soon as she gets convicted, I got banned for a week for cyberbullying and harassment because I filmed a working class man say he wanted to maybe swing her by her neck from somewhere. And it chills me, and even that's not a threat of violence. It's someone expressing an emotional thing against a child serial killer. Now, I think we're going to have a chilling effect, especially Manchester, working class city, that working class people who may not have the kind of fancy vocabulary to come up with insults, they might just say, fine, I won't talk to anyone because I might commit a hate crime. And so Barry, who works in construction, he might get angry at something, but he'll just put his head down and shut up because he's worried that he might say something wrong. And that's awful.
That's happening now. That's been happening for decades.
Yeah.
It's called self-censoring.
Self-censoring.
So we'll think about saying something, we'll think of an opinion, and then we go, oh, inside we go, oh, I'm not going to say that because I'm not sure if I can say that. So as free adults living in England, we're now going, oh, I'm not allowed to say that. And how have we got to this place? Not only are we cowards, but we feel there's this invisible force around us now that we're not allowed to say these things. And what I say to people, and I'll say to you now on camera, say what you want to say. It's the only way you're going to protect free speech is say what you want to say and stick up for yourself. Because if you don't, they're going to control you. They're going to control you more.
And thank you, Nick. And as someone that worked for many years in government, is there a mental illness almost in people who work in government who feel that they know better, they need to control, that they feel that poor people are too stupid, they've been brainwashed by the right wing? What is it that, what we might call a conspiracy to destroy the West, is it a conspiracy, is it incompetence, or what is it?
I don't buy into many conspiracy theories because I've worked in government.
Yeah.
And once you've worked in government, you know what the problem is. And it's incompetence. At every level, in every department, in every manager, in every boss, there's a layer of incompetence there. Sometimes not the individual, but the system they're working in is also incompetent. So a lot of it comes down to that. Then there's also this underlying feeling that I'm working in the government, I'm a nice person, I might be on £100,000 and got a gold-plated pension, but I didn't take the job for that. I took the job because I wanted to help people, help society. And the only thing stopping me helping society are those bloody people called residents, called citizens.
Getting in the way.
They're getting in the way of everything. If only I could rule the world, they would have a much better life because they're idiots, they're uneducated, they're too fat, too stupid. I need to remove some of their rights and I need to force them to do what's good because I know better than them. They're the masters of their own destruction. If only I could be in charge of them, they would live in a utopia. Now, that goes through every layer of government. The people doing it don't realise they're thinking that, and they're not actively saying that out loud. But honestly, that's how they feel inside, that the people are the problem.
Yeah.
Now, how it should be is the civil servants, it's in the title, there are servants.
Yeah.
They're not our masters. They need to provide services and projects we want, that we're willing to engage with. What they shouldn't be doing is using this nudge effect to make us do things we didn't want to do.
Yeah.
And the reason why they want us to do that is because if we could get the people doing what we want them to do, it makes our jobs easier.
Yeah.
And it's all about them and their jobs and their pensions, instead of them going, I'm here to serve the people. And the people want to make mistakes, and the people want to make choices that are bad for their health and bad for their careers.
Yeah.
Well, as long as the government should advise you these are bad decisions, I'm for that.
Yeah.
But once we've advised people this is a bad decision, the rest is up to you, mate. As an adult in a free society, you have the freedom to ruin your own life.
Yeah, because it's no one else's business.
Otherwise, we're not free.
Absolutely, yeah. And the freedom to speak and to make mistakes, to say things. I want to be able to speak off the cuff without worrying, will I be arrested?
Yes.
And I'm not a bigoted person. I don't give a shit about anyone's color or sexuality, but I want to be able to sometimes even joke about things that are, in the past 20 years ago, we'd all joke, and it doesn't mean that you're evil. But now, what? You get called up before HR, you get arrested, the police turn up at your house with a print off of a Twitter that you retweeted, some anti-LGBT whatever, you know, it's...
Jokes are really important. So
they are.
Jokes, first of all, are like the canary in a coal mine.
Yeah.
Authoritarian states always go after comedians first.
Yeah.
Why? Because comedians show the hypocrisy, show how flawed the system is, show how silly your leaders are.
Yeah.
So anyone who goes after comedians, you know straight away they're authoritarians.
Yeah.
Now, what's great about jokes, it helps us understand complicated situations.
Yeah.
So when you're making a joke about a serial killer, you're not endorsing serial killing because nobody would.
Yeah.
What you're doing is you're showing how complicated the issue is, how deranged some people are, and you're making a statement, sometimes a political statement, in a way that makes someone else chuckle or laugh.
Yeah.
And they only laugh if they get the joke.
Yeah.
So it's an educational tool, comedy, educational.
Yeah. I wanted to end on the punchline that it's impossible to inject insulin into newborn babies when you're swinging from a tree by the neck.
Yeah.
Yeah, for example. But in fact, please don't ban me, YouTube. Nick.
And 50, 60 years ago,
Yeah.
hanging her by the neck would have been perfectly legal.
Perfectly legal, yeah. It would have been, perfectly fine now joking about it. So Nick, as we wrap up, how can my viewers find you? How can they vote for you? How can they keep track and make sure that they follow you up until the election? Tell us when the election is and what they can do to keep in touch.
So the election is the 2nd of May next year. So we've got 7 months to go. And obviously I'm going to need all that time because I'm an outsider at the moment.
Yeah.
But if you're sick of the way things are going, if you're sick of the way Greater Manchester's turning, if you're sick of everything this country's offering at the moment, we need change.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm going to make you richer, but I'll make you happier because I'm going to shake this tree so hard some branches will fall off, and then we'll see the incompetence, we'll see the corruption, we'll see the failing politicians. And if you like some of the things you've heard me say today, please follow me on social media. I'm on all platforms. Just look up Nick Buckley, MBE, all one word. Start sharing my posts, comment. If you don't like some of my policies, tell me why you don't like them. But honestly, the vast majority of people will like my policies because they're based on common sense.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Nick. And so you're not the Americans who say, "Oh, you got elected on this such and such ticket." What is your ticket? And give us a brief conclusion as to why we should vote for you on that ticket.
Yeah. My main policies are I'm going to scrap the CAS on day one. So the CAS is a congestion charge coming for Greater Manchester. We're going to scrap it day one. We're not paying.
Like Sadiq Khan's ULEZ.
It's a Manchester version of ULEZ, basically.
Is it? Yeah, okay.
A commercial vehicle, so we'll scrap that.
Yep.
Most people tell me they don't even want a mayor of Greater Manchester. We were never asked, did you want a mayor? So I'm going to promise to hold a referendum in Greater Manchester and ask, do you want a mayor? And if you say no, well, let's get rid of my job.
There you go.
I don't want to be mayor. I don't want to be a politician.
If the people don't want a mayor, then
I just want to fix things. So let's get rid of the mayor if you don't want a mayor. And then I'm going to fix the police. Because unless we get a professional police force dealing with crime, then what sort of society have we got? We can't do anything if we're afraid to walk the streets and afraid to leave our house because we're going to get burgled. Or we're afraid our children are going to get gang rapes. So I need to fix the police.
Absolutely.
And I understand the police. I used to be based in police stations. I've trained police officers previously. Fixing the police will be easy. All we need to do is have their back as a politician and say, do these things, and when the press complain, the chief constable just says, sorry, the mayor told us to do that, and I will take responsibility and I will take the flak.
Nick Buckley, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Cheers, Charlie.